To say that women just want you for your money is idiotic because I also want money. This is not my typical setup. Usually I'm outside, but since it's kind of dark and I'm going back to my old sleep schedule, we're here. Um, so I wanted to talk about something not so different because it kind of irritated me this morning. So there was a post that I saw. Basically, everyone has their own opinions on social media that they post about, and though that they have all good intentions, overconsumption definitely hinders your possibility of finding a healthy relationship. And I truly believe that. I was talking to a good friend of mine, and I was telling her that I think when you have so much opinions and when you already have like so much standards that you're already looking for before you find this person, there's already a low chance that he will not be compatible with you. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm not saying to not have standards and to accept anyone that comes into your way. I'm trying to say is that I think you should be more open to having someone understand you. I think we get so caught up in someone accepting us right away without regarding that, you know, you also have to accept them. I think to an extent we're getting very selfish, and I can understand it's kind of a complicated issue, but from my opinion, if you just choose to close things off with someone, why are you dating? I think if you are trying to find someone but you shoot them in the foot, then there's no point in trying to date. I think it's just a waste of time for them and for you. So why even try in the first place? And I kind of said like, oh, statistically speaking, right? As everyone probably knows, that the first person that you're with is not going to be the one. There's going to be a lot of trial and errors in a relationship, and the person that you're seeing probably won't be the one. Who knows? There's divorce. There's infidelity. I'm not going to get into that. But that's not the reason why I brought it up. I commented, I'll post what I commented on the video, and someone replied, LMAO, no woman is ever going to love and accept you as you are. That's some peak delusion. And I replied, I'll show it again if you guys want to pause and read it. And then he replied with that. With what I'm saying is that women hasn't evolved to love men. They have evolved to pick men based on usefulness and then extract resources or simply use the man in any way she wants/needs. I told my friend. I sent her the message, and I was just like, what the fuck is this? I was dumbfounded because, okay, I don't know if you know this, since the dawn of time, even cavemen, they were the hunter-gatherers, and women helped prepare the meals and took care of the babies, okay? It's been encoded in our, even though times has changed, I can understand that. I think no matter what, men just provide naturally. And I don't have a problem providing. I have a provider mindset. And it has bit me in the ass multiple times, but that's okay. I like doing it. And when I mentioned it to my friend, it's just, women like security. Men don't mind doing it, but they like to get, this sounds bad. They like to get something in return, in the sense of like the emotional aspect of it. Like they like to have, they want to have a safe space. I don't mind providing. I just want a safe space, and I don't want to feel like I'm being used. That's it. Because who wants to be used? I feel like there's like a switch in in the dating realm that more women are starting to provide for their men. And you know, women, if that is your thing, keep doing you. Not my relationship, whatever. I just kind of find it weird if you are tolerating certain behaviors, as I've talked about in my very first video. But like my first thought in my brain when that guy said that, I was like, who did this? Like, who hurt this person? Who made him think that way? And you know, it kind of goes back to like social media. Everyone has their own opinions on things. Andrew Tate, woman this, woman that. It's like, holy, I can't swear. I'm trying not to swear, but it's just so baffling that some people actually think this way. They think that all women want is like money from you. No, they want security, because who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want to have a secure relationship with their partner? That's why women would love are going to ends of the earth to be able to love their person. And I kind of just said, like, everyone deserves love, and people should accept you for who you are. My friends accept me for who I am. And based on my reply, I said, like, I am still working on the things that I find that are flaws and that people have pointed out that are flaws. But they still accept me for who I am, because we're always going to change. The person that we are 6 months ago, we're not the same as we are now. I've learned that the hard way. Not the hard way. I learned that recently, when my brain is slowly becoming at peace with the things that I'm surrounded with and what I have. Like, decision making isn't as difficult as it was before. I know what I want, and if I want it, I'll try to pursue it. If it's not for me, then it's not for me. End of the day, I'm gonna move on with my life. So yeah, it's just, I know not everyone will find someone to love with especially how things are. Like, some people are preferring to stay single, and honestly, I'm starting to think about it too. I did another recording prior to this, but I was kind of high, and I was like kind of talking nonsense. I was talking something similar to this, but it was mostly nonsensical because I was kind of all over the place. But I was also focused on putting a skin wrap on my camera. You guys, I don't think you guys will be able to see it, but let me see here. So you guys kind of can't see it, like the grip. You could probably tell. The gray cap, this screen, but yeah. Anyways, I did that for my camera while I was recording, but I don't know how people do it. Like I told my friend, like I hope that those who have felt hurt, who have put up their walls, find someone who's willing to actually climb up those walls before they purposely just choose not to date anyone anymore. And I told myself, I'm going to go back to a conversation I said before I brought out my camera. I'm debating on staying single when I'm still single by the end of this year. I told myself that because I have a different mindset now, and there are things that I want to do. I want to catch up on. I'm not saying the time that I've had when I was in relationships are wasted time, but definitely like my main focus was more on building a relationship with these people that are no longer in my life. So now I'm gonna try to build more of my life in the, not like for myself, but also for my future partner. I think as much as I love working on myself, I'm also gonna work on myself when I'm with my partner, my future partner. And that's good. Like, as much as I want to do this for myself, I'm also building myself up for the person that's supposed to be meant for me. How do I know this? I told my friend, I just know. I will just know. I will see this person and I'm just like, but, who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Maybe I don't, maybe I'm just single for the rest of my life. But, anyways, so I kind of told my sister too. I was like, if I'm single by the end of this year, I'm going to go back again. If I'm single by the end of this year, I'm going to stay single for a while. I want to get into law school, but I also want to, but I can also take the path of for my work because they pay for my education that I'm taking. It's part of a contract, and I'm debating that too of taking that real estate brokerage. So I can either do that and or law school. So I'm planning on, depending how things go, I'm planning on going to law school when I'm 28 and like doing my undergrad for, I think it said 2 or 3 years, sometimes 4. And then I'm gonna be in law school for another 3 years, the JD program. And then I'm gonna be in my articulate. I don't know how to pronounce it. And then that's gonna be for another 3 years. And as much as I wanted to be in a relationship, maybe during that time, I told my friend that I don't think I can. I wouldn't want to put my partner. I wouldn't want to put my partner in a position where they think that they're not important because I am having troubles giving them the time, right? With law school, it's a lot of time allocated to it, especially with 5 courses. You're going to be reading documents, probably like 50 pages per course, and you have to memorize all of it based on what I read. And that's a lot. And I wouldn't want my partner to feel like they're being neglected, so I'm not going to put them through that. But they did say like, oh, if they'll be able to understand where you are because they probably are going to school too and going through that. But I think that's like the self-sabotage part of me where I think like I'm not deserving of it. I tend to do that. I've done that before, but that's because it's like you're trying to achieve so much, and sometimes you can't deliver. But I know that being in law school would be a tiresome time. So being able to set aside time is going to be even more difficult. And again, I think having that fear is rational more than irrational. It's not, I don't think it's irrational at all because like I don't want to waste their time. And if that does happen, I hope they respect themselves enough where they are able to leave. But on a different topic, they asked, why do guys love bomb? Especially in the beginning of a relationship or even before a relationship. And I asked, are you talking about general love bombing or when one bad things happen, they don't take accountability, say what you want to hear, and then shower you with love, then repeat? And then she said general. And then she said she was curious because of a certain scenario that I can't speak of. Like a very specific scenario that she's currently experiencing, but they were showering her with gifts, and this wouldn't be the first time. So she's wondering why it happens in an early relationship. And I said, I think it could be the lack of being able to love yourself, especially if you're talking about grand gestures in the beginning. And it's like I can talk about what I think what women feel and what men feel. But I said with the most basic answers, she said you have to think about intentions behind it too. But I said with the most basic answer, emphasis on the basic, I guess, I think what I can think of is this guy might have good intentions, but it also has to deal with him wanting to show that he can provide. Some men think that they possess some traits and mold themselves for some weird reason to be the perfect, quote unquote, perfect guy for a woman for a certain moment. Now, when I say for some weird reason, there some people, some men, probably a lot of men, have this ability to shapeshift themselves into that perfect guy that I'm referencing, and women fall for it. You know, in a world where dating has become difficult, it is becoming easier to do that and to manipulate women, or not manipulate. To There's a word for it. I forgot what it is. I'll put it up on the screen when I think about it. Influence. Influence. I guess that's the word. But what they don't realize is the facade that they show will eventually catch up, and they won't be able to. That's when they will pull the excuses and say that they aren't enough or that you deserve better. Now, I have done that before. Not the facade, but I will also facade, but not to a love bombing extent. Like, again, I like to provide, and I did my best to provide for my partners, and my friends know that too. But I did it too much, where I was hurting myself in the process. So, I did that, and then she said, "Do you think that age is a factor?" I don't think it's a factor. I think the younger someone is, the more innocence there is behind it. But then she said, this young person was possessive, and stalkerish. So I was like, some people think that they're entitled to something when you give them something. Like, oh, I gave you this, you owe me this. But if you don't give it to them, they have this mindset that they think that, oh, you just use them. I showered you all of these gifts. I did all these things for you, and now you owe me this. You are using me, even though that's what they wanted to do. That part baffles me. That makes my mind boggle, because it's like, didn't you want to do that for them, but now you're expecting something in return? But that's a whole different case, I guess. So yeah, I just said no. I think some men, especially when they don't have a lot of bills, would just do that in general. Some are just pure innocence of what they think love is based on how they grow up. But as you age, there will be differences. She said, yeah, like that guy attacking you, the person that commented on my post. And I said, exactly. That's why I'm not necessarily upset or angry when people choose to quote unquote hate and generalize everyone based on their experiences. It's more so disheartening. Like, it sucks you went through that, but don't think you won't receive it based on those experiences, because man, oh man, someone out there can show you that you're deserving. I just hope that it's not too late before you choose to close your heart. And it's true. It's like, like based on your experiences, you put your wall up, and you're fearful of a lot of things, and I said that's okay. It's not a bad thing to do that. I think those are the obstacles that you have set for yourself to protect yourself. I completely understand that. But it's choosing to not believe that you are deserving of those things. Again, if you choose not to believe in that, but you're still also trying to date someone, you're wasting time. There's really no point, because I think you're just like telling them they have to prove themselves to me, because on the other hand, you also have to prove yourselves to them. But if you don't want to do that, don't date. You really just shouldn't, because it's a two-way street. Like, I personally, I'm not gonna try so hard anymore. I thought about it. Maybe if the person that I want, no. I'm interested in one person and one person only. I tried. They didn't reciprocate. And that's okay. That's it. That's the end of it. I'm not gonna keep trying, because I'm not gonna put myself in a position where I'm gonna try again, and if I don't get anything, I'm just gonna grow resentment. As much as I want to say, like, if I wanted to, I would. I did want to. I went up to them, asked them, nothing happened. And that's okay. That's something that I kind of accepted for myself. Like, I went to an event, like a social event, and I went up to someone, complimented them, and left it alone. I'm trying to get more comfortable with that. I'm not there to ask someone out, but I just want to be able to go up to someone, compliment them, and go about my way and be okay with it. And I was, and I did great. And I applaud myself for that. They said thank you. But yeah, I'm sure there will be someone out there to still choose to try to climb those walls despite him not being the cause. But it's also my fear, though I'm open to still being in a relationship. But if I do get to the point where I said by the end of the year I'm still single, but what if someone comes along after the fact? Then what do I do? Do I just choose or go against my word? And I'm like, and I just said, who is this mystery woman that I'm crying, quote unquote, crying and pleading for? Like, this person doesn't even exist in my life. And yet here I am fucking complaining. But it's like, relationships are difficult, but it's only worse if one of the people or both of you make it difficult. I think that's what it is. I finally understand that part. And it's like, I've said it before, like, oh, relationships should be as easy as breathing. Sometimes it's going to be difficult, but if one person makes it difficult, then that's a problem. So, yeah, I don't know what else to talk about, to be honest, but that was like pretty much it. It's like social media has definitely tainted social media. Yeah, like social media has definitely tainted the views on relationships, and that's perfectly fine. I hope that the people that do kind of consume this kind of content take it with a grain of salt and don't close off so quickly. I understand how difficult finding someone for you is, but even the most odd people that I've witnessed are together and they look happier than other people that are just choosing to kill themselves to feel that love. So definitely you are deserving of love. Never ever think for a second that you don't, because your friends, your family love you for who you are and continue to accept you even if you make bad decisions. Although they might give you their 2 cents, at the end of the day, they will choose to love you, and someone should do the same. Maybe if they are not doing that, then maybe there is something wrong with you and that you need to work on. But there are 8 billion people in the world. It is statistically, I don't know why I'm saying statistically, but based on numbers, it's just, it would be weird for you to not find someone for you. And you can't be choosy. Oh my goodness. Oh, that was one thing. Why are you playing hard to get? Like, there are some people that choose to be hard to get when they're not, like, they're not even desirable themselves. I don't know if I should end it there, because it's true. Some people, I've seen them, shitty attitude, and I'm wondering why they think that they are desirable. Why they think that, why aren't women choosing me? And I'm like, we look in the mirror, you kind of self-assess, and then they blame social media. They're like, oh, women this, women that, social media is right. No, you are just not desirable. You have to work on yourself. There's a lot of things you can work on. And it's not just money. Security is an amazing thing, right? We all want money. I want money. I want a lot of money, but that is to have a secure, to be in a secure financial position. That is it. Everyone wants that. To say that women just want you for your money is idiotic, because I also want money. I want money for myself, and I'm working hard towards that, and I will get it myself. I don't need a woman in my life to get to that point, but it would be nice to be able to share that achievement with a partner. That is all. This has been a long recording of probably nonsensical shit. I'm sorry if you're trying to fall asleep in this or just listening to while you're studying. I hope I didn't bother you. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any other suggestions and topics, feel free to leave it in the comments below. I am never ending with topics. I have recordings of other stuff. I have just chosen not to post it, maybe because it's out of pocket. I don't know what to call this. Maybe out of pocket. Maybe. Who knows? Anyways, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate every single one of you who have stayed, and I hope that you enjoyed this topic. And as always, stay lovely, stay friendly, and stay happy. Peace.